I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Ty Cobb, who was a former White House attorney, a counselor for Trump, says that he believes Trump will go to jail before the trials get started because of the gag order. Mr. Engineer, bring up that clip if you will, please.
Ty, one other thing I wanted to ask you about, just as a quick follow here before we go, on the point about the gag order. What do you think is next, right? I mean, so the gag order went away for 9 days. It gets reinstated. It says these things about Bill Barr. What he got fined $10,000 for him, that's, pennies. And no matter what his real wealth is, it's still pennies. So where does he end up on this?
Well, the New York judge fined him $10,000. That's in a civil case. That's not as consequential as Judge Chutkan's case. I think Judge Chutkan, prudently allowed Trump to try to persuade her to extend the gag order. She concluded, on the basis of his conduct this week, not to do so. And I think she'll come in with a much heavier penalty. And ultimately, I think he'll, spend a night or a weekend in jail.
Wow.
I think it's going to take that. I think it will take that to stop him.
Wow. That'll be an incredible thing to actually see happen. But you think that's where it goes?
I do.
All right. Ty Cobb, thank you very much. I appreciate it as always. Good to see you.
Great. There are three things. Thing number one is that I too believe that that Trump might spend some time in jail before the Chutkan trial in March. Thing number two is that I'm not sure Trump will not spend more time in a hospital than he will in jail, because I'm not sure his health will sustain him through the assaults that's coming his way. And mainly the fact that his daughter Ivanka is going to testify against him. She got hooked up with this Jared Kushner. They are two snakes. And I think when she takes a stand and testifies truthfully against him, it's going to have notwithstanding that all this pressure he's under at present is having a major effect upon him. I think he's going to end up in the hospital. So I think he's going to possibly end up in jail for a brief time because of his running his mouth and breaking the gag order, to end up in the hospital because he's just not going to be able to stand this pressure that's going to put on him. And at some point in time, either Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley is going to begin to rise in the polls, and that's going to really frighten him, combined with all the other stuff that's going to take place. I think the boy's going to be hospitalized. And thing number three is that you need to get off the Trump train. You do. You need to get off the train. You need to get off the train. You don't want to give him any more power to do any more destruction. Now, he's going to do it on his own. But it is obvious that this is not about bringing justice or truth or a balanced budget or a great economy or making America a great nation. You know that now. Someone said that ignorance to the law is no excuse. You may not have known, going back 2-3 years ago, just how insidious Trump is. You may not have known, and you may have, and by not knowing, and you may have believed him. You may have thought that he was the real deal. You may have believed that. You may have believed all those liars out there talking about prophets that said that God called them. You may have believed that. You really may have. If that's the case, that you really did believe it, then you can plead not guilty and get off the train. But now you know. Now you know that the man is a psychopath. You know it now. It is not whether you were hoodwinked and, you may have thought at one time he was the real deal. Now, I understand that. You genuinely may have. At that point, you're not guilty. But the moment you become cognizant, that you become aware of that the man is a psychopath, then it's time to get off the train. You don't want to be on the train with a psychopath. When it was possible, potentially, that he was going to set some wrongs aright in America, And there are a whole lot of them that need to be set right. Ain't no doubt about that. You may have believed, listen, I know he lies. I know he grabs women by the coochie, but I'd rather him than them liberal Democrats, the squad with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Talita Rashid, and all that other crowd, and Black Lives Matter, and all the queers and all the trannies. I'd rather go with him than go with that crowd. And you're right. You should. You should. And I don't believe in the philosophy of the lesser of two evils. I don't believe in that philosophy. But you may have believed, well, he's bad, but he ain't as bad as them. And he wasn't, in terms of what you understood at the time. But the man is a psychopath, and you know it now. Get off the train. Get off the train. Get off the train. You say, well, we need somebody to lead us. I need a leader. We need somebody to speak on our behalf. We need somebody, whatever the story situation may be. Well, do you really? You don't need him. You don't need Ron DeSantis. You definitely don't need Nikki Haley and the rest. Just get off the train, step back, and call on the name of Jesus, and I'll hold your hand. But get off the train, man. If you didn't know, you said, Pastor, man, I really didn't know. You said 5 years ago how awful the man was. I didn't believe you, Pastor. I just, not that I hate you or dislike you or didn't trust you, but I thought maybe you just, maybe you just been biased or something. I don't know what it was, Pastor, but now I can see. If you can see now, get off the train. Get off the damn train. Get off. The man's a psychopath. Even his daughter got off the train. She don't have nothing to do with him. Bill Barr, by the way, that segment we saw with Ty Cobb, and the segment prior to that, Trump was talking about Bill Barr being lazy, slow moving, dumb, rhino, couldn't do the job. And Bill Barr is now saying that Trump is a psychopath, that he doesn't care about anybody but himself. He doesn't care about the country. He doesn't care anything about America. Bill Barr worked as Trump's attorney general but Bill Barr covered that boy's butt like a cashmere head to shoulder overcoat. Bill Barr covered that boy from head to toe when he was, and Bill Barr knew Trump was doing all these scandalous things. Bill Barr knew it when he was Attorney General, yet he covered Trump. Now he wants to confess and say, well, how bad he is, and he doesn't care about it. Now he wants to get off the train. Bill Barr got off the train before they stormed the Temple of Democracy on the 6th of January. He got off the train before that. But Bill Barr knew at the time. And I'm saying to you, listen to me. We listen to Pastor Mann. We listen to Pastor Mann. Listen to your pastor. Get off the train. You may not have known. You may have been hoping and praying, like an abused wife, that he's gonna get right, and but he's only getting worse. And now, it isn't that you don't know. It isn't that like it was 4 or 5 years ago. You know who the man is, and he's gonna take you to hell with him if he can. The Stuart Rose, the member of the Oath Keepers, says, I'm an Oath Keeper. They gave me a membership in the Oath Keeper Club. Yeah, they did. When you see us do that intro to the Manning Report, you see all those soldiers standing there with that flag, and we up there. Those are Oath Keepers that came to my event where I had the racial reconciliation, and the Stuart Rose spoke at the Oath Keeper at our meeting. Racial reconciliation, and he spoke about bringing the races together. I spoke at one of his meetings as well. But Stuart Rose is not doing 18 years because he believed Trump. Lord have mercy. Stuart Rose is doing 18 years in a federal pen, fooling around there with Trump. You got to get off the train. If nothing more than for, and you can say what you want to say about Stuart Rose. I know the man personally, right? We've had dinner together. I know him, and the man's he's not a psychopath, and he's not a hater. Stuart Rose. He was under the impression that those of us, those who have kept an oath, need to, an oath. We sworn an oath to the Constitution, and we ought to keep it. We sworn an oath to serve America. We ought to keep oath keepers. The oath keepers. Nothing violent or riotous about that at all. But he's doing 18 years now. Fool around there with Trump. Doing 18 years in a federal pen. His life is over with. Fool around there with Trump. You need to get off the train. You just can't go any further. You got to say, I'm getting off the train. And others of y'all need to come home to ATLAH. You need to come on back home to ATLAH. You need to do that. Come on back. I got some work to do here. The real power ain't in the politics anyway. The real power is in the Word of God. Y'all need to come on back to ATLAH, and let's get this work done. Let's do what, help me. You're willing to give your life to help Trump. Well, help me. Help me. I'm a good man. I'm a good man. I'm a good man. You see how faithful I've been. I'm not turned to the right nor to the left. I'm a good man. Come on home and help me. I'll welcome you back to come help me. All right? But get off that train, man. 18, Stuart Rose doing it. And what's the other fellow named the Proud Boys? 22 years. Get off the train. I'm James Ebbett Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.